Next on WoodSongs, two of the most incredible guitar players in North America, John Knowles, and from Australia, Tommy Emmanuel.
WoodSongs is presented in part by VisitLex.com, providing information and activities to visitors of historic Lexington, Kentucky. The Martin Guitar Company in Nazareth, Pennsylvania, making handcrafted acoustic guitars since 1833. The Deering Banjo Company, providing American-made banjos for front porch pickers and professionals, online at DeeringBanjos.com. And by Fransky String Instruments of Prairie Village, Kansas, online at mfstrings.com.
Here on the Louisiana Hayride, his name is Hank Williams. The
From the Grand Ole Opry, Bill Monroe and his Bluegrass Boys.
Hi, this is Bruce Horns. Hi, this is Kevin Moe.
Hey folks, this is Bela Fleck.
Hi folks, this is Sam Bush.
Hello, this is Odetta.
This is Joan Baez, and you're listening to the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour.
And now, gather the family around and sit back in your easy chair. It's time again for the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour, our worldwide celebration of grassroots music. Let's welcome folk singer, author, and tree hugger, Michael Jonathan.
Here's a song that was originally written in 1861 during the Civil War. You may recognize the melody. This is the original tune that was written about a young bride that finds her husband under a willow tree with a hot blonde chick, and she shoots them both. As a blackbird in the spring, beneath that willow tree, sat my love, I heard him sing to that orally. Well, my heart was broken, sad and blue, for my love to thee, that your heart no longer true, and you gave to orally. They sang upon this morning star beneath that willow tree, and there I laid my true love down right next to orally. Orally, orally, made of golden hair. Springtime came along with thee, and my love so fair. So take my heart and take my ring, I give it all to thee, and keep them for eternity along with orally. Orally, orally, of golden hair. Springtime came along with thee, and my love so fair. Springtime came along with thee, and my love so. And welcome everybody to the beautiful and historic Lyric Theater in our hometown of Lexington, Kentucky. We are broadcasting all over the world, from Australia to Ireland, New Zealand to New York, Yuma, Arizona to the Yukon. In northern Canada, we celebrate independent and grassroots music of all kind on this stage. Artists come from everywhere around the world to be here. You don't have to be famous to be on WoodSongs. You just have to be very, very good. And oh my goodness, that certainly describes both of the artists that we're going to feature for the entire hour on this show. Plus, we have an amazing WoodSongs kid to introduce to you as well. They are both certified guitar players, as bestowed by Chet Atkins himself. 3 of the 5 remain. This is 2 of them on our stage. We're honored to have them here. We'll introduce them with a song from their brand new album that they've done together. It's called Heart Songs. This is a tune called Walking My Baby Back Home. Please welcome the amazing John Knowles and Tommy Emmanuel on the WoodSongs Old Time Radio.
Thank you.
From their CD, Heart Songs, brand new album that they've done together. On your right speaker, John Knowles. On your left, Tommy Emmanuel on your left speaker. Tommy, it's nice to have you back.
Thanks for having us.
This is like your 10th time on WoodSongs. You're definitely part of the family. We'd love to see you again. And you are here with another certified guitar player. Talk about how important that designation was to guitar players, because Chet Atkins only gave it to a few people.
That's right. Well, there was 4, actually. It was Paul Yandel as well. And there's Steve Warriner and John and myself for the 3.
And then Jerry Reed, yeah.
And Jerry Reed, of course, was the first one. But it's more like a responsibility, you know. I think Chet saw in us that we love to hand on and inspire young people and try to help them in every way we can. And, you know, it was really Chet's dream that this kind of guitar playing would spread around the world and young people would discover how wonderful it is to play music.
Well, and you are certainly spreading it around the world. You are filling theaters all over the planet, Tommy. Seated next to you on the right side of the radio speakers is another certified guitar player, and let's welcome the great John Knowles. It's nice to have you here, John. And Chet Atkins doing this for guitar players. I mean, your early days, Chet was a big influence on you, and you were a big influence on Chet.
We kind of went back and forth. At first, I kind of wore out vinyl trying to learn how to play like him. And then I went backstage at a concert and met him. And he said, "Show me what you're working on," and he handed me his guitar. And so I showed him what I was working on.
Well, let's hear what you were working on.
I was working on... So he said, "Finish that up and send it to me."
And that became
and I did.
One of Chet's big hits, "The Entertainer," which you helped Chet learn. Well, we're going to enjoy talking to you guys more as this entire hour goes by, and we're going to spend a lot of time talking about your guitar and what we're doing song by song. But, John, this is a tune that you wrote that's on the new album, Heart Songs, and this is a tune called After Paris, just a beautiful piece.
Oh, thank you. I'd been to Paris, and then I started playing some stuff, and I thought, it sounds European to me, so I started calling it Paris again. And then I changed that to After Paris because, you know, there's Paris and there's After Paris.
Yeah.
A little more evocative.
The glow.
Yeah,
the
right.
glow
So
afterwards.
I could see the eyes get wild as he's thinking about it. Let's go ahead and check it out. John Knowles wrote it. It's from the Heart Songs album. Tommy Emmanuel is here with him. After Paris is the song right here on WoodSongs Old Time Radio album. It's an absolutely beautiful album called Heart Songs. It's together John Knowles and Tommy Emmanuel. John Knowles wrote that song, After Paris. And Tommy, we're going to get into a song that you wrote, and you're going to perform this solo for us. Yeah. It's called Eva Waits. Tell us, where are you on the guitar? Your standard tuning?
Yeah, normal tuning, capo second fret, because I'm in Kentucky, where bluegrass comes from.
That's right. No strange tunings around here,
No strange tunings with me ever.
You stay in standard tuning a lot. I mean, you rarely change, right?
Yeah, I mean, some tunes like the Tall Fiddler, I use a drop G and a drop D, which gives you a G6 chord. And most times I just use either a drop D or just normal tuning. But I have, kind of positions that I've worked out that fool people, and they think I'm in open tunings, and I'm not.
Yeah, so on this particular song that we're going to hear you do solo, your standard tuning, capo on the second fret.
Exactly.
Your right hand, thumb pick or just plain fingers?
Thumb pick, yeah.
No finger picks.
No finger picks. No, my nails are no good. They sound like paper. So the funny thing is, the nails on my left hands are great. They're really thick and good. But the ones that I want to play with don't sound any good. So I just develop calluses here, and I can get a.
You're playing with the very tip of your finger,
tip of
right?
the finger. Yeah, I can cut glass with this thing. You know? But this song I wrote after watching a great movie, another great Steven Spielberg film called The Bridge of Spies. Mm-hmm. And there was a little scene in that where we see the Berlin Wall being built. And it just started a story in my own mind about how people's lives must have been changed that morning. And I had a dream, and in that dream, it was like the wee small hours. It was still dark, and the husband leaves the place where they live and goes to work. And while he's gone that morning, the wall went up, and he couldn't get back, and his wife didn't know what was going to happen or if he was still alive, and all she could do was wait. That was the story that was in my mind, and that gave me the inspiration to write this song.
And so this is interpreted as an instrumental. There's no vocals, right? No. So I want the audience to picture the story that you just told. Tommy's going to play it on his guitar. It's him solo on our broadcast. Eva Waits is the song. It's on their new album, Heart Songs. Tommy Emmanuel on the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour. Tommy Emmanuel on our broadcast, solo on his guitar from their CD, Heart Songs. Eva Waits is the song. Now Tommy, you were talking earlier about the importance of, in Chet Atkins' mind, to focus on the kids, to get young people to get into this music. There's an organization called Young Thumbs that you're very involved with.
Well, it was John's idea.
John's idea. So John, tell us what Young Thumbs
What
is.
happened, I heard all everybody picturing those young people as a threat to us, like young guns. I said, no, man, young thumbs. They're our people.
That's right. Yeah. Well, we have a young thumb watching right now online as we're taping our broadcast, and that's Parker Hastings, who's definitely a young thumb.
All right.
Let's give a shout out. I'm going to throw a little curveball at you, Tommy, because one of the most beautiful songs that you wrote is about a young person, and that's your daughter, Rachel.
Rachel, yeah.
So we've got a little bit of time here. Would you play a little piece of...
A little bit of Rachel's Lullaby?
A little, your little daughter, she's about 4 years old, right?
It's time to sleep now. Oh, da, da.
Your little daughter. Tommy Emmanuel on our show and solo guitar. Now that is a good setup for the next song that we're going to get into, right?
Yes.
And this is a Billy Joel song.
Yeah.
Now, you're touring right now with John, and John, you're used to performing to thousands of people a night, I'm sure.
Oh, that's right, yeah. As in not. No, I really stayed at home. I worked, at Blair School of Music, at the Country Music Hall of Fame, and writing books for Chet. And then Tommy would ever and then fly by, and I'd grab him for a cup of coffee, and we'd work out something. So this stuff took a little while to come up, but little by little, we put everything together.
So now, Tommy, John was about ready to have a birthday, and you're trying to figure out what would be a nice present for John.
Well, yeah. At the start of this year, his birthday is the same day as Rachel's, January 6th. Rachel turned 4. He turned 77. And...
And I needed something new to do,
What do we give a 77-year-old guitar player for his birthday? A tour.
That's right. So, John, now you're being in Tommy World must
He's
be...
He's officially a road dog now.
Being in Tommy World, Tommy has a lot of energy, so...
He does, and I'll tell you, the way he does that, though, has everything to do with pacing. So there's a certain time to take a nap, there's a certain time to eat, there's a certain time to do sound check, and if I just follow his pace, then I can do it too. Mm-hmm. But if I get fooled into thinking I'm expressing that energy all the time, I'd be out after 2 days. So I'm taking a master class in road dogging here.
Well, and we're going to give you a little congratulations. Of course, by the time this airs, it's over. But tomorrow, you and Tommy are going to present John Knowles for the very first time on the Grand Ole Opry. This is premiere.
Yeah. Quite a year, huh?
Yeah. So now, Tommy, we're getting into this Billy Joel song. It's called Lullaby, Goodnight, My Angel. What key are you doing it in?
This is in D, the written key. And when we were arranging this, we just decided that the best way to do it is for John to go away and study Billy's piano part and work it out on the guitar, work out the best way to play it. And then while I was on tour, I just listened to Billy a lot. And just listened to him singing. And then when we came back together, he said, well, I've worked out the piano part, do you want to play it? And we just played it, and it sounded exactly as it's going to be tonight.
Well, it's on their brand new CD. They've done it together. It's a duet album called Heart Songs. Absolutely beautiful piece of work. It's John Knowles on the right side. Tommy Emmanuel is on the left. This is a Billy Joel tune, Lullaby, Goodnight, My Angel. The entire broadcast is being dedicated to their brand new album called Heart Songs. John Knowles, the great Tommy Emmanuel. In the second half hour, we're going to light the Tommy rocket and let him blast off with a brand new song that he's going to premiere on our show. And wait till you meet this week's WoodSongs kid. We will be back right after this.
Hey, this is Jerry Douglas, and you're listening to the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour.
And thank you, Jerry. Now, there's a monster musician. Welcome back, everybody. We have the amazing John Knowles on our show, the incredible Tommy Emmanuel. They brought their guitars. We're hanging out. We're talking about music and how they play. We're broadcasting worldwide on over 500 radio stations around the world. Great stations like WGEN in Crete, Illinois. We want to say hello to Lace Radio in Kamba, Australia, Tommy's home place, as well as Art FM. And in John Knowles' hometown in Nashville, Tennessee, we're broadcasting on Sunday evenings on the mighty 650 AM WSM Radio. Big deal. 2 hours of WoodSongs every Sunday night. We're also broadcasting on American Forces Radio Network. Very important. It puts this radio show on the air, on the radio in 177 nations, from South Korea to Kuwait, plus every single military base in the world, every U.S. naval ship in the world, every Coast Guard vessel sailing in North America gets to hear the show twice every weekend. And as always, we want to say hello to the men and women, the families, the friends, the public. Because of that, this portion of every show, we invite a kid from somewhere in America to come on our broadcast. And since the show was all guys, we found two amazing girl guitar players. Let's say hello to Chelsea and Grace Constable from Jonesborough, Tennessee. So, Grace, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. How long have you been playing the guitar?
I've been playing for a long time. It's actually been probably over 10 years, but I started picking seriously at about 12 years old.
And you do a lot of flat picking, right? Tony Rice style?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're here with your sister Chelsea, who's a bit of a YouTube guitar sensation on her own. How you doing, Chelsea? So you're here. You're going to back up your sister on a song that she wrote.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so Grace is the honored artist here, and she's got her guitar. Her sister's here with her guitar. And tell us the name of this tune that you're going to play.
It's called Bullfighting.
Bullfighting. This is one that you wrote.
Yeah.
And it's going to have a lot of...
flat picking, Spanish style.
Yeah. So it's going to have a kind of a Mexican Latino feel to it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so from Jonesborough, Tennessee, Grace and Chelsea Constable, this week's WoodSongs Kids. 17-year-old Grace Constable with her sister Chelsea, this week's WoodSongs kid. Didn't they do great? What a nice... And Tommy, that's what... Talking to Tommy Emmanuel, the great guitar player, you were talking about the importance of kids, and here's an example.
Absolutely, and the importance of being writers. She's a composer.
Yeah.
I'm sure they both are, and it's a long road ahead, but it's so good to get started young.
Well, here we're going to get into another song on this wonderful album, Heart Songs, and this is a song that the
composer.
Bee Gees,
yes,
Barry Gibb,
yeah,
and a very unlikely tune to hear you guys do.
I know.
Yeah. We always loved this song, right?
But we couldn't figure out how to do it.
Johnny went on he's a serious researcher. He went on to YouTube,
right?
Right? And played along with the Bee Gees, and the Bee Gees version is in E flat.
So I had to tune down,
He had to tune his guitar down to learn it, still playing in E, but it's in E flat, so he could learn the chord structure. And then when we got together, I already knew the melody, and we just put it together.
And didn't Barry Gibb call you eventually and say...
He did. After we worked out this arrangement, we liked it so much that we asked my wife Clara to film us playing it in our house. We put it up on YouTube, and it was like only a few days later.
And he saw it.
Barry saw it and called me up and said how much he liked it and invited me to his house.
Well, maybe he's watching, and he'll invite the whole audience to his house.
I think so.
Believe me, there's room for them.
The big house, right? It's an instrumental of the Bee Gees' hit, How Deep Is Your Love? It's on their new CD, Heart Songs. It's Tommy Emmanuel and John Knowles on the WoodSongs, Old Time Radio.
Yeah. Thank you.
Great John Knowles, Grammy winner Tommy Emmanuel. How deep is your love? Off the look at the size of this CD jacket. It's Heart Songs on LP. So do you ever think, John, that the old school formats like vinyl records would make such a big comeback?
Yeah, I thought,
great.
Here comes my past back to haunt me, you know. So.
John, let's talk about your guitar. Now, Tommy's playing a steel string acoustic guitar. You're playing
a nylon string made for me by Kirk Sand out in Laguna Beach, California.
Now, this album, Heart Songs, in a way, is very reminiscent of the albums that Chet Atkins and Jerry Reed recorded together.
That's a nice compliment, isn't it?
I think. No, really.
I haven't heard that one before, but thank you. Yeah.
I think Chet would say, I'm on the left, he's on the right, but not politically.
That's right, yeah.
That was the first album.
That was the first album, right? So they put out, and that was, these two guys, Chet Atkins, Jerry Reed, were a very big influence on how people viewed acoustic music, thumb picking, right?
Yeah.
Well, they were a big influence on us, for that, you know.
But they were great arrangers and great producers, great players.
And they loved songs.
Had everything.
Right. You know? The song is I Can't Stop Loving You. It's on their great new album, Heart Songs. It's John Knowles and Tommy Emmanuel on the WoodSongs Old Time Radio. The great John Knowles on your right, Tommy Emmanuel on your left from their new CD, Heart Songs. And we're going to ignite the Tommy rocket right now with a new song that you're going to offer our audience. It's not recorded anywhere. It's called Fuel. It's Tommy Emmanuel on the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour. There's a brand new song, a treat for the WoodSongs audience. Tommy Emmanuel, solo called Fuel. I think you're channeling the spirit of Mason Williams. You had a rock band and a string section. You'll have a 21st century classical gas on that thing, right? That's a very good song. I can't believe we've come to the end of our hour with you two guys, and we're going to end with a very fitting tribute to Jerry Reed, because we talked about him so much. One of the certified guitar players, one of the original ones.
Yeah.
And this is a special song to you guys, isn't it?
Well, it is. It's a song that when I heard it on Chet's album, Me and My Guitars, that song just stood out, and I thought, how on earth did he write something like that? Right. You know? And it turned out, as John said, that Chet had played him. What was the track?
Putting on the Ritz.
Putting on the Ritz.
Yep. Or Istanbul was Constantinople. He said, that's a good rhythm, Jerry. You should write a tune to that.
Yeah. and then here it was. Well,
Yeah.
let's get into it, because I want to make sure we could fit it in our hour. John Knowles on the right side of your speaker with the classical guitar. Tommy Emmanuel on the other side. This made popular by Jerry Reed. It's called Struttin', right here on the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour. All this beautiful music, all this skill, all this talent, you know, it's an understandable thing. If there's guitar players all over the world that hear this show and they see what these guys do with those 6 strings and standard tuning, and they pack up their guitar and they hurl it into their closet, never to be seen again. And I want to stop that right now, because what Tommy is about, what John Knowles is about, is encouraging people to play, about finding your place in your music, finding your place on the greatest stage in the world, your own front porch. And that's something that Tommy Emmanuel and John Knowles have been promoting to young kids all over the world. Walt Whitman said something I think is very appropriate for a show like this. Walt Whitman, of course, was a great American writer. He said, when an artist cannot find their space worthy of their space as an artist, they start creating their own space. They don't depend on anybody else. That's what John Knowles has done with his music. That's what Tommy Emmanuel has done with his music. And that's what you can do with your 3 chords and the truth and this beautiful stage of your own living room couch. My name is Michael Jonathan. I'm a folk singer. I am a song farmer. And we'll see you next week on the WoodSongs.
You've been listening to WoodSongs broadcast number 964. Michael's opening song was R.L.E. from the Songs of Rural America album.
Well, there's our show. I hope you had a good time. We sure had a good time making it. If you'd like to send me an email, I'd love to hear from you. My email address is michael@woodsongs.com. If you visit our website, there's a huge archive page of hundreds of past shows. While you're there, you can find out how you can become a song farmer. And speaking of the archives, here's a scene from one of those past shows now. We'll see you again next week on the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour.
There's nothing like a blank page. You get to start from scratch. It could be anything, man, there's no catch. It's a good place for a dreamer, a good place for a dreamer to dream away. Oh, blank page. There's nothing like a clean slate. You get another shot. To do things like you meant to the first time you picked up the chalk. It's a good day for a sinner, a good day for a sinner, so why wait?
Closed captioning provided by Highbridge Springwater. WoodSongs is presented in part by VisitLex.com, providing information and activities to visitors of historic Lexington, Kentucky. The Martin Guitar Company in Nazareth, Pennsylvania, making handcrafted acoustic guitars since 1833. The Deering Banjo Company, providing American-made banjos for front porch pickers and professionals, online at deeringbanjos.com. And by Fransky String Instruments of Prairie Village, Kansas, online at mfstrings.com.